Today in the battle arena, well, we've got the king of the monsters, biggest titan out there, Godzilla, going up against the biggest threat over in Invincible, Omni-Man. Two powerhouses going head to head. Who's coming out on top here? Who wins? Let's find out. And before we get started, well, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN keeps your online identity safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device, like your computer, your phone, and the internet, meaning that it's going to protect all your personal data from both big companies and big tech, also hackers and cyber criminals. It's going to keep you safe while you're online. Best part is, unlike some free VPNs, Surfshark doesn't store your activity and then sell it to big companies, which is kind of just defeating the whole purpose of having a VPN. On top of that, Surfshark allows you to change your location on your phone or your devices, which gives you access to like all the good Netflix. Like, let's say you want to watch, I don't know, Godzilla King of the Monsters, but it's not on Netflix in the US. What are you going to do? Just not watch Godzilla? No. So what are you going to do? Well, just switch your location to Japan. They got all the Godzilla movies. Or you're traveling around now, you want to watch Invincible, but you don't have access to Amazon Prime. We'll just switch back to the United States, and you can watch Omni-Man beat the crap out of his son.
Think, Mark!
Yeah, think. You know you need a VPN, and Surfshark's the best one out there. And right now, if you use the code DanCo, well, you'll get 83% off and 3 months for free. And plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally no risk to try it out. So go get Surfshark. Links in the description down below. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video. And now let's get into the fight. So Godzilla is the king of the monsters. He's proven time and time again that he's the most powerful titan, the biggest, baddest monster out there. And really, for this fight here, he's got three things going for him: his strength, his durability, and his atomic breath. Now, when it comes to strength, well, Godzilla is one hefty boy. That's about all there is to it. He's coming in at 400 feet tall, over 100,000 tons. So when you're that big, well, it makes it pretty easy to absolutely level cities. Just casually walk right through buildings. He's busted up skyscrapers by literally pushing kaiju just straight through them. Done this just a ton. It's like his go-to move. Godzilla's even plowed King Ghidorah through skyscrapers. And the big guy weighs 140,000 tons. Ghidorah outweighs Godzilla. He's bigger than Godzilla, yet Godzilla's still able to mess him up. There's a reason they call him King of the Monsters, because that's his king right there. He's also got a pretty powerful bite. You don't want to get stuck in between those teeth. See, now he's able to chomp down on one of Ghidorah's heads and tear it off completely. Even his tail is really powerful. Outright killed a Muto of one swing and then knocked over a skyscraper as well. The thing about Godzilla isn't that he's just insanely strong, it's also insanely durable. I mean, a part of that also comes down to just his size. He's so big that a lot of smaller attacks aren't going to move him around. You gotta be another big kaiju too in order to really give him any trouble. But even then, how much those attacks really do? He's taken beatings from the Mutos and Kong, even from King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla. And yet, you want to know who was the only guy left standing? Yeah, it was Godzilla. Kinda hard to argue with a track record like that. He survived the Castle Bravo nuke, which is like one of the largest nukes in history. And King of the Monsters, he survived another nuke. This time took it directly to the face. And then in a tie-in comic, he survived the Permian impact, which is actually just a huge step up from even taking nuclear bombs. Because this meteor was the thing that wiped out all the dinosaurs. It's like an extinction level event. And what's Godzilla do but take it on the head and just keep on swimming? So when I'm saying he's tough, I mean it. Then to top it all off, as if it wasn't enough to just be insanely strong and like the toughest thing alive, Godzilla's also got his atomic breath. It's so powerful, he's able to kill the female Muto, managed to push back and burn King Ghidorah. Just from the looks of it, looks like it's getting more and more powerful in each movie. I mean, in Godzilla versus Kong, the big guy was using it to burrow down all the way to the Earth's core, which is kind of insane to think about. Like, it kind of throws the math off because we're working with a hollow Earth over in the Monsterverse. But if it's anything like our real life Earth, Godzilla will have to drill through 4,000 miles of Earth in order to get to the core. So, yeah, safe to say Godzilla is pretty powerful. But then again, so is Omni-Man. I mean, just for starters, the guy is the strongest superhero on Earth. And I use the word hero there very loosely. He's able to punch straight through the Immortal's chest and snap War Woman's neck. These are the two heavy hitters for the Guardians of the Globe, Earth's greatest superhero team. Nolan then did it again. Punched straight through Immortal and karate chopped him in half. He said before that he's stopped an asteroid the size of Texas, then lifted up this massive boulder, which, based on some math that I found online, was around 500,000 tons. What's he do but lift it up with just one hand? Omni-Man bodied the Reaniman, who nearly killed Invincible. They're not pushovers by any means. He knocked around a massive kaiju monster, and there was his fight against Invincible. The guy was sending Mark flying miles and miles with every single punch. He bull rushed him through streets, down to the ocean floor. He sent the kid flying clean through skyscrapers and into mountains. Omni-Man is super strong, also super tough. No selling laser blast, taking attacks from the Guardians. And he took absolutely everything that Cecil and Earth could throw at him. I'm talking Reaniman, nuclear lasers, a giant monster knocked up on all sorts of super steroids, everything. He went up against Immortal, who was trying to kill him. In his fight against Invincible, Mark tried to punch him. Nolan didn't even move. To top it all off, Omni-Man is insanely fast. Like, so fing fast. He caught Red Rush mid blitz, can fly from the Earth to space in seconds. And when you compare him to Invincible, Mark was literally moving in slow motion. Then you put all this together, his strength, his speed, his durability, and Omni-Man was able to go up against the Flaxans, a superhuman, super advanced alien race. And he was just overpowering them. He was just bullying them, blitzing them all over the place, wiped out all the infrastructure on the planet with his strength and his speed and his toughness. Omni-Man is something else. He's so much of a threat. So, those are our two fighters. Now, how do I see this one playing out? Well, I've been bullish on Godzilla for a long time now on this channel, especially this version of the character, the Monsterverse guy. I mean, I've thrown him up against pretty much every other monster you can think of. He usually always comes out on top. But outside of that, well, he's gone up against Superman, Thanos, Doomsday, even all the Avengers. And yet Godzilla still won. So if a track record like that, what shot does Omni-Man really have here? That's what you might be asking yourself. But really, well, Invincible is just a whole other stratosphere compared to the MCU and the DCEU and even the Monsterverse. Looking at some of the stuff that Omni-Man is doing here, it's just absolutely insane. Insane. Like stopping an asteroid the size of Texas, flying through nuclear lasers, no problem, speeding around the world, lifting 500,000 ton boulders with just one hand. The best part? Well, he's got absolutely no morals whatsoever. The only line that he didn't cross was killing his own son. And he came pretty close to doing that too. So even if Godzilla has beaten the likes of Superman and Thanos and Thor, it doesn't automatically mean that he can beat Omni-Man here too. In fact, I don't think he can beat Omni-Man here too. Like, let's walk through this a little bit here. So Omni-Man has picked up that boulder that weighed 500,000 tons. We've already seen that on the screen. So if you trust the math there, well, that's already 5 times heavier than Godzilla, meaning he should be able to pick up Godzilla even easier, just holding him up with just one hand. Then there's him saying that he stopped an asteroid the size of Texas. I mean, you want to talk about an extinction level event? Well, that's a extinction level event right there, I'll tell you. And on top of that, a very small amount of admittedly questionable research, a little bit of math tells me that this is going to probably be at least 1 quadrillion times as heavy as Godzilla. Even Omni-Man is exaggerating here by a factor of 1 million. It was still like 1 billion times heavier than Godzilla. On top of that, Omni-Man has taken nuclear lasers point blank. He's flown straight through them. So he's definitely tough enough to compete with Godzilla. Then there's just his speed. He's so much faster. It's really not even worth comparing them in speed. Just look at the kind of stuff he's doing here. If Omni-Man really wants to, if he's taking this fight seriously, which, I mean, he should, it's Godzilla he's going up against, I could reasonably see Omni-Man never even being touched. Of course, in all this, there is still that elephant in the room. Omni-Man actually went up against a giant kaiju monster in the show. And, well, let's just say he didn't do too hot. But there's a whole lot to that. It's not as simple or easy as saying that Omni-Man struggled against this guy. That means he'll lose to Godzilla. First off, Nolan's already been through a whole lot here, including nuclear lasers point blank. And then that's when he goes up against the giant monster. The giant monster who can't feel pain and is hopped up on every drug and steroid and every super substance imaginable. It actually just shows how OP this monster is. That he can push Omni-Man to his limits when a nuclear laser can't. So it's not that the guy is weak by any means. He's also not necessarily slow. He's a whole lot faster than Godzilla. That's probably one of the main reasons why he's able to compete against Omni-Man. And lastly, it's not like Omni-Man was ever gonna actually lose to this guy. Cecil thought it was unlikely,
That should buy us 5 minutes or so.
and even if the monster got the drop on him, Omni-Man perked up right afterwards. And then it went on to kill Immortal and crush Invincible. It's not like anything ever really phased him throughout this whole gauntlet, including the monster. Omni-Man's a Viltrumite. It ain't a serious fight for him if their guts aren't spilled out, their bones broken, their faces disfigured. These guys are something else. So, all that to say, I don't really think this fight against the big monster is enough to justify that Godzilla will beat him too. Especially if Omni-Man is still stronger, he's still faster, he's arguably tougher, and he's got no problem trying to kill. I think that strength gap is just way too big. I think the speed gap is just way too big. And I think Omni-Man is gonna come out on top. Whether that's throwing him up into outer space, blitzing through his head, or just punching him to death, Omni-Man is gonna beat Godzilla. Omni-Man wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Who do you think wins this fight? Also, once again, thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Link is in the description. And make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn notifications for more videos like this one. I will see y'all next time.